The third of these six is what he calls the ethical straitjacket, and I think many of us can relate to this one. He says, in Christianity, the Bible and the church dictate everything that a Christian must believe, feel, and do. Christians are not encouraged to make their own moral decisions or to think out their beliefs or patterns of life for themselves. In a fiercely pluralistic society, there are too many options, too many cultures, too many personality differences for this approach. We must be free to choose for ourselves how to live. This is the only truly authentic life. We should only feel guilty if we are not being true to ourselves, to our own chosen beliefs and practices and values and vision for life. You see, this one's really getting at a person saying, I don't think it can possibly be true if it isn't coming from me. In other words, if I'm not following what I think is right, and I have to yield continually to an authoritative truth over me, how could that make me more real? Very valid insight, I think. Now, Keller's response, his brief response to that is simply this. Individual creation of truth removes the right to moral outrage. In other words, he's saying, if you can see the idea that within yourself, you can determine what's right and wrong. That may appear as it makes you authentic, because you don't have to act as if you believe something that didn't emerge within yourself. But the moment that you embrace that idea, you can't be upset with anyone that does virtually anything. Now take rape, for example. I don't believe that there's a single person in this room that would actually say that a person that thinks that rape is right has a right to take your daughter into the back of the building and rape her. I think all of us would say that that's not right. Now, the difficulty with that is that what if the person that did that believes in natural selection? He doesn't believe that there's a moral right and wrong to it. In fact, he watches Discovery Channel, and several times a week he'll see a show that talks about how special it is that the most powerful lion is able to push away all the other males so that he can keep all the females for himself. You see, that logic doesn't work for most of us. Now, if it does work for you, you need to check out the security team in the lobby on the way out. But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, because you've got a difficulty here. Now Keller responds to it this way, in pretty profoundly, I believe. He says, the first part of his response is this. He said, aren't there any people in the world who are doing things that you believe are wrong, that they should stop doing no matter what they believe inside about right and wrong? Then you do believe that there is some kind of moral obligation that people should abide by, and which stands in judgment over their internal choices and convictions. So what is wrong with Christians doing that? You see, inside of you, if you've ever listened to a news article about an abduction or about a home hostage or a break-in situation or just some injustice halfway around the world that doesn't allow women into public schools or to go to universities, and you're able to say that's not right, I think that they should stop that. The moment you've done that, you've admitted that there has to be some truth that belongs everywhere. It's not up to people to decide what it is. Now, the second part of his answer, I think, is equally good. He goes on and he says, no one is really free anyway. No one is really free anyway. We all have to live for something, and whatever our ultimate meaning in life is, whether approval, achievement, a love relationship, or work, it is basically our Lord and Master. Everyone is ultimately in a spiritual straitjacket. Even the most independent people are dependent on their independence, and so can't commit. You see, their independence, they're so proud of it, it forces them not to really commit to anything. He goes on and he says, Christianity gives you a Lord and a Master who forgives and dies for you. Now,